What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Haze Demon Show. And today we are going to be going over the latest developer update coming at you from Buck. And I know we didn't do a developer update last week, but there wasn't really anything big going on other than the fact that they are going to be naming the specific versions of the game whenever they come out. Like right now it's 4.1 point something, I believe. But anyway, that's all that we missed last week. We're gonna get into some good juicy content here. I like to see developer update called Spells, Traps, and Farts. Hey everyone, it's Buck over there. This week is going to be a busy one. We're bringing 5 challenge card usage events, 4 24-hour events, and a weekend event. So nothing but card events, which is very awesome indeed. A hot fix, more info below. So we're gonna get a quick fix here and a brand new card, plus some info about some balance changes that will be coming next month. Take a seat and settle in while we bring you this information. It is going to be freaking awesome, dude. We've got quite a good week. I'm going to go over the cards for each one of these week's events, but it's going to be sci-fi, mystical, adventure, fantasy, and then the brand new card coming out at the end of the week. Going to be very awesome. The lava card, which we will go over here in just a moment. So for this week's events, it is a spell week. The new kids, this week we're taking some time to appreciate some of our favorite spells in each theme. The 24-hour events will all be card use events with a heavy emphasis on spell usage. And here will be the cards for each event. On Monday, it will be a sci-fi card use event with double PvP tickets in the PvP packs only. And there's currently a bug that was introduced in update 4.1. Where is this coming? It's a random spot for bug information. But yes, apparently there's a bug that was introduced in the update version 4.10 that caused 2x lockers to not work correctly for PvP tickets and cash. This will be fixed in the hot fix coming up in 4.1.1. Coming out on Tuesday, which should be tomorrow, I do believe, correctly for the remainder of this week's events. Alright, so it's good. So it's only going to be messing up for really today and the ones that were happening before now and then. So today's Monday, it's going to be Mind Control Poison, Hyperdrive, Enforcer Jimmy, 6th Element Randy, Program Stan, Super Fart, Lightning Bolt, Powerbind, Transmogrify, and Dog Poo. Ooh la 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 la. Ooh la, indeed. I like it. I like sci-fi, so I can't help myself. On Tuesday, it's going to be the Mystical for Hallelujah, Unholy Combustion, Energy Staff, Witch Doctor Token, Friar Jimmy, Father Maxi, the Chopper, Fireball, Cock Magic, Hyperdrive, and Marcus. I like all these different spells getting their place for the week, right? Makes sense. It makes perfect sense. And then on Wednesday, it's going to be the beginning of the Spells, Traps, and Farts challenge. In this challenge, all spells and traps will be 1 cost. And also, mainly, you have to pay attention to this one. Youth Pastor Craig will cost 10 energy during this challenge. So you won't be able to use him as a way to block your opponent's spells this time. Unleash the full power of your phone. No one will play Youth Pastor Craig unless you are a troll or a content creator maybe. But that is actually hilarious. I am pretty excited about that because that should make this weekend's challenge mode much better than normal. You know, like I can really feel the difference in the game. You know what I'm saying? So it should be pretty good. But then the Wednesday's 24-hour event is going to be an adventure one with Fireball, Aerostorm, Lightning Bolt, Hook Hand Clyde, Storyteller Jimmer, Ink and Craig, Super Fart, Transmogrify, Unholy Combustion, Poison, and Towley. Don't forget to bring your towels on Wednesday. On Thursday, it's going to be Cock Magic, Transmogrification, Grand Wizard Cartman, Rogue Token, Paladin Butters, Mr. Slave, The Chomper, Lightning Bolt, Regeneration, Freeze Ray, and Nelly. Ooh. Alrighty, so let's continue on. The update 4.1.1.1.1 is going to be on Tuesday, which will be tomorrow. Pushing out the hotfix, and it will fix Professor Chaos's card description in some languages. Maybe English was not an affected language, but for surely there was some that were not reading correctly. Fixed an issue introduced into 4.1.0, where the 2x lockers would not give double rewards for some currencies, which is what they were talking about earlier in the developer update, which fine where it was here, I believe. Fixed an issue where Professor Chaos could damage friendly units with his Warcry. We all seen this. We all thought it was a design of the card, you know what I'm saying? But actually, Professor Chaos is not supposed to attack his teammates, so that makes him even better than before. Get that? You know what I'm saying? It was better. He's better. Alright. Fixed an issue introduced in 4.10, I mean, where external music would stop playing when launch the app. Alright, so I know before this, if I was playing music and I went to go load it on my phone, it would just go, phone destroyer, and shut the music off, but then you could go back out of the game and you could turn the music on, and then you could go back in the game and then your music would be there for the rest of the time. Which is not that I did this very often, but I'm sure other people did. And it looks like it became a problem where you could not use music whatsoever externally, and that would suck. So glad to see that that's going to be fixed. Also, a big shout out to Red Links for last week's hotfix that they did. There was 2 hours at least, almost within 2 hours, I guess you could say, that they were able to fix a bug with the login issue where people were not able to log in last week. I was watching Pharaoh TV. If you guys do not know him, you should definitely subscribe to Pharaoh TV, Pharo TV, right, on YouTube. And anyway, he was streaming and I couldn't get connected into the game, and other people couldn't get connected either for almost 2 hours, but Redlinks came through with a quick fix. So shoutouts to them for doing that. Very awesome indeed. We got balance changes with this next season reset on Tuesday, September 3rd. We'll be rolling out some balance changes. This is the hype, bros! The balance changes! Sci-Fi, 6th Element Randy. His base attack increased to 85 from 75. So he's going to have that much more sting. He already kind of felt like an assassin, but now he's really going to kick it like a mule, man. And then his charge time reduced from 14.6 from 15, so a 0.4 second less time, which I feel like is okay. I mean, I guess it is a buff, but I just feel like it's not really something you can notice a lot of difference in. So maybe if it would just have been a solid half of a second or even 1 whole second, maybe you could tell the difference. But this is probably something you just never really will see, but it would eventually, in some situations, it would make a difference, you know what I'm saying? So, but really his attack is going to be a lot stronger. I feel like 6 Element Randy's not the kind of card you're going to want to play. I don't like to play first to allow my opponent to be able to play around him easier. I think he's more of like a ambush fighter card that can kind of be tanky when he's not a tank. But yeah, I've always had this weird thing with him. And then Fantasy Witch Garrison. This is what I'm kind of excited for, actually. Also, I'm excited for both of them, to be honest with you. But Witch Garrison, base HP going to be increased from 375, or to 375 from 300. So it's going to be a pretty big boost in health in the grand scheme. It scales, remember, these numbers are their base, so it scales percentage-wise over level ups. It says charge the time reduced to 8 seconds from 10 seconds. See, here you have a 2-second decrease, so you'll really notice the difference in this buff here. And the ability radius increased to 4 from 2.5, so you're more likely to get a frontal hit with it, even though he's still got this weird targeting situation whenever people are too close to him and he switches targets too quickly, I guess is what it becomes like, and it hard turns at a 90-degree angle instead of shifting slowly. I'm sure some people probably just don't really know, since not everybody plays Witch Garrison, but it is a problem. However, this will help him be able to set his ability off earlier and allow him to guarantee that he's shooting it forward more likely. So, I mean, you have more control over where you're aiming it, basically, because that's kind of more what his problem is, but the 4 range is going to be huge. I was thinking that they could make it to where he actually throws it farther away, but the fact that he just does farther range makes just as much sense, I guess, on an increase. So this should actually be really good for Witch Garrison. I'm about 350 copies away from him to level 6. I will not be requesting him, however, I'm sure he'll come up in an event where we can play him, and it would be very nice to see what comes out of that. And says, the summary of the changes, Element Randy wasn't performing as well as we wanted when compared to epic counterparts and other legendary cards. We wanted him to hit a bit harder and have the ability to spawn more auto vacuums. And then Witch Garrison's ability was inconsistent, and the small radius sometimes meant you could miss units that weren't close enough. With the changes we made, we wanted him to be able to use his ability more often and allow him to survive longer on the field. So being able to use it earlier on kind of allows him to survive longer. He doesn't have to be so close and so committed, and give him more time to be able to use it again. What I'm thinking is like he needs to rotate slower, or his ability needs to rotate slower when he's moving, or maybe like, or instead of it being like a flat 90-degree angle of it's not damage, right? So it's not like Swordsman Garrison where he actually can make like a huge difference with his ability when he hits in that direction. Maybe I think instead of just like a whole 180 direction that he attacks with the bottles, he could maybe be like slightly wider, like a 200-degree angle, so that way you can slightly hit units a little bit behind the direction that you're aiming, and just in case if a unit's really close to you and you're able to kind of catch him in the cone, I guess is the way I can see it. But either way, this should still be pretty good for him. Oh yeah, we got this new hot trap is hot. It will cause damage over time and slow enemies that walk through it. This lifetime of the trap is 30 seconds, which is similar to the Chomper trap. The damage values will be from level 1, it'll be 7, 2, 9, 3, 11, 4, 14, 5, 18, and the main one that everybody should be focused on is the level 6, which is 25 damage. Now, I assume that this is 25 damage per second, but it could be per like a third of a second. So we don't really know how strong the damage is until we know how fast it refreshes the damage that it does onto units. If we only had that knowledge, it would help out a lot. I think I got a message. My bad on that beep, guys. That is not your beeper. That is my beeper. Yeah, so, I mean, if it's once every 1 second, I feel like the damage might be not as good. Maybe. I mean, it could still be good, right? But if it's once every half of a second that it does this damage, it's gonna do some pretty significant damage. Now, one thing we don't know is how big of an AoE area is this card, right? If it's a really big area, it makes sense that it would only be 1 second or whatever, because it can just hit everything. But if it's more of like a small, like, fireball targeted area, then it should do more damage over time a little bit faster, I feel like. So guess we'll have to wait and see. I mean, it's only 3 energy, so I want to say it's, you can see the damage. So for 3 energy, I want to say that it's going to be like a medium size, and it's going to do it once per second. So it's not going to do a whole lot of damage. It's not going to be quick. It's going to be something that's more like, you know, adding into the fray of a giant battle that's happening next to your new kid, rather than being a fast action like the Chomper, you know what I'm saying? So Chomper's really target specific, like a sniper rifle of a trap, and then Lava's going to maybe be medium, maybe a little bit larger than medium size area, and it's going to do what would seem kind of like small damage, but in the grand scheme of things, it's like anti rejuvenation from Mystic. Yep, it sounds pretty cool. And then the cards for this weekend obviously going to be Lava, the Chomper, the Coon, Toolshed, Human Kite, Fast Pass, Professor Chaos. So if anybody has these cards leveled up enough, you can boost one of them to boost all the other ones. So it should be pretty good weekend for sure, although I don't have any of these cards leveled up enough yet. Canadian Knight Ike, Angel Wendy, Marine Craig, Sheriff Cartman, and Pigeon Gang for the rest of us. That looks pretty rough for sure. Oh man, so Pigeon Gang is like what you'd have to run no matter what as a neutral card, and then you've got Angel Wendy or Marine Craig as your ranged units that you can kind of sneak in some extra damage with. Sheriff Cartman's on an overcharged ability, overcost, so definitely doesn't work. Canadian Knight Ike, some people could be lucky and have a good level, and it could do some things, yes. But yeah, that's going to be a rough weekend for the cards that are not superhero specific. So if you're running superheroes, you'll have no problem whatsoever with this event. Eventually we will get these cards leveled up, but in due time. That is going to be it, guys. Thank you all so very much for checking out the Haze Demon Show. Pretty exciting news this week. Always good to hear. Good that things are moving right along at Red Links. You know, we like to hear, get those good information and give out the good vibes. But that is going to be it, guys. I hope you have a wonderful day. Don't forget to bring a towel. Peace out.
You wanna know? Look at these scars.
Shut up, Mimsy!